Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have not posted a video update since early this year, late January or February, sometime in there, because 2025 has really been a rough year. For me and for many people on the carnivore diet. You've seen a lot of these channels. Many people have been struggling in 2025 for various reasons. I have theories. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into them right now. I don't have time to edit a video, so this will be unedited, and I'm going to give you an update on my life, and hopefully I'll be putting out more edited, higher quality videos as the time goes on. Earlier this year, in the first quarter of this year, I had a very, very, very rough patch. Some people in my life tried to destroy my life and my family, and I will not get into any details because that involves compromising privacy of some people that I care about. But it was shocking, and it really put me through a ringer I never thought I would go through. But the Lord held me through the whole thing. He held our family. He held our family together, and our family relationship is stronger than ever because the Lord is good. And I, in the meantime, have had to work through what forgiveness means, etc., etc. I don't know if I'll get into that later in this video or not. We're going to see where this can go today before I have to go to work. In any case, so I'm going to talk. I have been having to think about forgiveness, what that means. But in the meantime, I went through months of sleeplessness, no sleep, utter stress, constant high levels of cortisol racing through my veins and every cell of my body. I did not ever get a test for that, but I could tell. I couldn't sleep. I was constantly anxious, crying all the time, and could barely concentrate. And I put on 20 pounds. I had already needed to lose about 15 or 20 pounds, that I was just trying to not gain any more weight, but then everything fell apart. The cortisol and the sleeplessness probably just packed on pounds of its own accord. And then I did deprioritize my diet just to cope with every day. Some of it was that I couldn't add stress of thinking super clean about my diet. And then some of it was emotional eating. I didn't really do any binging, but certainly ate plenty of foods that are not good for me, were not for the best. And then my husband and I to just to tell, Satan or whomever that they could come after a lot of things, but not our family or our marriage. We went out on many dates and decided we're going to relax and not worry so much about food, and everything. So we did that. But now we're like, okay, we got to get it back together. He doesn't have a weight problem really, but he of course benefits from leaning carnivore in many other ways in his life. He can tolerate more fruit and such than I can, but in any case, I am rambling. But the Lord is good, and he led me through this to show me that he's the source of all that's good in my life, to show me that I am not worthy of his grace any more than the people who did great harm to me. And so I ended up in great gratitude. I mean, I didn't do the things that these people did. I want to be clear about that. There's some things that I would never do, and some people don't mind. And in any case, but I'm thankful though that throughout all of this, the Lord did keep me humble, but also help me to establish boundaries for myself and for my family, and to understand that there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation, and that forgiveness is a one-way street from me to that person or those people that have hurt me, and that is something I extend regardless of their posture of heart. But reconciliation is a two-way street, and reconciliation means an acknowledgement on the part of the other people, what they did and their desire to change in a way that can reconcile the relationship. You guys are probably like, what is she talking about in her life? And again, that's not for the internet, but we all have parallel experiences. So I encourage you, instead of wondering what was happening in my life, to think about your life and the differences between forgiveness and reconciliation. And sometimes forgiveness has to happen since we're human, many, many times. And assuring what it means to me and what it means to my health and my heart and my relationship with my God, that I must be reminded sometimes daily or even hourly that I need to re-forgive. Jesus Christ's forgiveness of us was one time, and it happened once for all. And our reconciliation to God, though, depends on whether we accept that, right? So that's a little bit of a model for our lives. But since we're flawed, sometimes we have to redo the forgiveness. Sometimes some people can forgive and be done. And sometimes we have to continue to take these things to the throne of God. So that's what was going on in my life in 2025, and I put on rapid weight gain, and we just had the weather change in Texas, and I joked to my coworkers yesterday that I needed to lose 20 pounds by today so I could fit into my fall clothes. Well, I didn't, but I did start getting things back together a couple of weeks ago. And I will tell you what those things are in an overview, and then in future, hang on, my husband is calling, and there we go. I'll call him back. All right. So I'm going to give you an overview of that, and then I'll do videos giving more detail. So I did increase some supplementation. I do not like supplements. They drive me crazy. A lot of times I think they're a waste of money, but I really was desperate. And the first thing that I did was add creatine at high doses, like 20 grams a day. You can see those 3 little things up there. Those are creatine gummies that I ended up buying. I do have a bag of creatine powder that's just pure creatine, and I was mixing that into beverages, but I was having trouble like keeping on top of all of that every day. The gummies do have some sugar in them. They have allulose, and they also have tapioca syrup and some other sweetener. I can't remember what, but it's not a lot. And when you have a carbohydrate with creatine, it helps shuffle the creatine into your muscles where it is really supposed to go, and into the brain. So I'm not going to really worry about the sugar that is in those creatine gummies. Not right now. Right now, I am climbing out of a dark pit, and I need to do what it takes right now to get back to my next level. The other thing is that I haven't been able to sleep. And so probably about a month ago, I thought, I got to turn my brain off. I got to do whatever it takes. My brain is waking me up saying, hey, you got problems to solve, or you have a memory of a problem to solve. Let's go back and relive every negative thing that happened to you this year and in the past. And I had to tell my brain, hey, man, slow your roll. That's enough. So I did start taking melatonin, and I started taking higher doses of magnesium. And then I added in kava. There's kava tea, but I didn't want to drink tea right before bedtime because I don't want to wake up to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And so I got kava supplements, and then I added glycine, 3 grams of glycine at night. So I split these doses. I have an early morning batch of these that I take so that my brain starts calming down, and I chill out in the evening and everything. And then about 30 minutes before bed, I take the rest of these because it's a lot. And I'll go into the details of what those are in another video. That has helped me increase sleep. I also got like some knockoff sleep tracker ring. I don't want to spend all those hundreds of dollars on the Aura ring, so I ordered one that was like $90 on Amazon and had some coupon, and I ended up getting it for $50, and there's an app that goes with it. So I've been tracking my sleep. I can see how often I wake up. I can see my REM cycle, my deep sleep cycle, my light sleep cycle. For several days in a row now, I have had roughly 8 hours or more of sleep every night. And I'm telling you, after months of, probably 3 hours of highly interrupted sleep a night, 3 to 6 hours, I'm super thankful. And seeing that tracker and seeing the sleep report every morning keeps me motivated, because then in the evenings I'm doing more things that support healthy sleep habits. I'm never going to optimize this, right? I like to watch a couple sitcoms on my iPad before I go to sleep. I just do. And I don't know that I'll ever just stop that and be one of those people that picks up a poetry book at bedtime or something. Maybe, though. I like poetry. Who knows? In any case, so I've had to optimize sort of within my own personality structures and the things that I like. So I had a conversation with my son, who's almost 22. He had some great input for me. That will be another video, all the advice that he gave me to help me optimize my evenings and my mornings. But I wear blue light blockers after sunset now. That helps. The evening dosage of some amount of magnesium, and I've added some higher doses of vitamin D, that kind of thing. Those are all helping. And then I moved my devices. So when I am ready to turn off the light, I take my iPad and my phone into my little office area, which is here, and get those just away so that I'm not tempted to check my phone if I wake up in the middle of the night. And also I don't pick up my phone first thing in the morning. I get up, I see light. If the sun's not up, I turn on a light, I look at light, I get up, I get out of bed, I get the coffee. If my husband brings me coffee, actually, but if he doesn't make it back there, then I go get it myself. I turn on the bedside lamp, those types of things before I touch my devices. So that has helped a whole lot. I'm getting back on track. I have just turned my mind off toward foods that are not healthy. I had been excusing a lot of nibbles of sugar here and there. Over the past 11 to 14 days, I've really cleaned that up. I have had a little bit of sugar, a little bit, but I mean, I'm not counting that. Like, my husband bought this tiny little dessert thing. It was like that big, and we split it with one of our sons. So like, I had a third of that on Sunday. I mean, so whatever. I don't care about that right now. I care about not having excuses. If somebody brings sweets to the office, I'm no longer like trying to excuse a nibble of that throughout the day. I'm not doing that anymore. So I've really cleaned up about 95% of my diet. It's ketovore. I do allow a little bit of like romaine lettuce sometimes, or little avocado sometimes. But mostly it is meat, mostly it is beef. So that's what's going on there. So I'm feeling good about that. The creatine supplementation was the first big turnaround in my sort of revival now, because even on this, before I got my sleep back in order, the creatine gave me a cognitive boost that countered any sleep deprivation and gave me sustained energy. I am the queen of running on momentum rather than stamina. That means my whole life have had short bursts of intense energy, and then I just crash. And I've leaned into that because that's who I am, but I really needed sustained energy even when I was not getting sleep. Well, I'm telling you, the 20 grams of creatine a day, and I mean, there's a million YouTube videos, especially if you're a postmenopausal woman, about that has a lot of cognitive benefit, because the first 5 grams goes to your muscles, and then after that it starts going to your brain and mitochondrial function. And I'm not regretting it. It's fantastic. I'm so happy I started the creatine. I'm going to stick with it. It also increases my water intake, because creatine directs water into your body where it needs to be, where it's best put to use. You get thirstier. So another benefit is that I'm drinking a lot more water, and so that's good. I have really upped my skincare routine. I'll do a whole other video about that. That's just to help me feel pampered and like I care for myself, and that it's something to do to make me feel loved and cared for, that's not eating a muffin or chocolate or something like that. So I'm doing that. Also, my face aged a lot in 2025. When you cry for months and don't get sleep, and you are stressed and you are eating sugar, it will age you so fast. It is unbelievable. And so I'm like backpedaling on that as fast as I can. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to make more detailed videos about my supplementation routine, about my daily routine, about what I'm eating, those types of things, and everything I'm doing to get a grip again. It is hard for me right now still to make time for concentrated exercise routines, but I am, every time I get a chance, adding activity through my day that is called NEAT, non-exercise activity something. I don't know, NEAT. That can help even more sometimes than just exercise. So when I get up from my desk at work to use the restroom, I go to the furthest restroom in the building from my desk, so I get more steps in. Several times a day, I will just pause, and I work at a church with 1 million rooms, so I'll just go into another room and I'll do anywhere from 10 to 50 squats, just in the clothes I'm wearing, and then 10 to 50 arm presses against the wall, and then those kind of washing machine twists, you know, for the midsection. That is just a little added activity. Longer walks to get to the restroom, and those little things several times a day. I'm already seeing increased muscle definition in my legs and in my arms, and a little bit of a reduction in my abdomen. So I'm happy about that. So what I want to say is that if you have been struggling and 2025 took you underwater like it took me and many other people in this particular carnivore space, just start with what you can do right now. My first order of business was sleep and finding energy to get through a day in a non-optimal situation, and getting those sleep supplements and that creatine helped, and prioritizing those. And I mean, right now I'm doing everything to get 8 hours of sleep. That is the most important thing I'm doing in my life. Then I'm taking the creatine. I'm trying to add the extra activity during the day. I am really saying no to as much sugar as possible. And then also I'm intermittent fasting in the evenings. I'm really trying to not eat dinner, or if I have dinner, it's not after 6:30, and it is a light meal. And so I'm trying to get back into ketosis that way. Those numbers are improving. So anyway, so that's where I'm at. And things are different now. I know we always say that, but the Lord took me through the valley of the shadow of death. And I'm thankful for what he has shown me, and his steadfast love, and how he is there for me, and he's there for you too. And he loves you, and he loves your enemies, and he forgives you, and he forgives them. And what a great God it is that we serve. Please let me know how you're doing in the comments. I have missed many of you that always commented on my videos, and I would just love to hear from you. God bless you all, and have a wonderful day.